I recently launched a LinkedIn poll asking which fundraising resource do founders most commonly neglect. And I made the three choices: a financial model, a pitch deck, or a data room. And I was actually really surprised to figure out which fundraising resource most founders felt like other founders tended to neglect. I thought that it was going to be the financial model. Turns out the vast majority of people put the data room. And after thinking about it a little bit, I think that I agree with them. I think that a lot of founders that I talk to seem to really underestimate what a data room needs to look like. And so I wanted to create a video all about data rooms and talk about what a data room is, why it's important, a process that you could or should use to keep your data rooms up to date at all times, and my recommended resources for keeping a data room up to date. So it's all going to be about data rooms today. So we're going to start at the very, very beginning, which is, what is a data room? Well, a data room kind of is what it sounds like. So it is essentially a system of files that are going to organize all of the bits of data that you have on your business. So this should essentially be a one-stop repository for anything that any investor or lender or anything could potentially ever want to know about your business. So it's going to include things like financials or articles of incorporation or tax documentation or your employee agreements, all of that stuff, all of the interesting legal things, the finance things, any general updates, processes, procedures, all of that is going to live in this data room. Now, a data room should be organized. It should be labeled correctly so that anybody that just jumps into a data room knows exactly where to go in order to find the thing that they're looking for. And it should be something that should be easily shareable with a wide group of people. Now, why is a data room important? Well, a data room is important for due diligence whenever it comes to investing in a company or lending to a company. So you'll see diligence requests mainly come from investors and lenders, and this is important for them because they want to understand the ins and outs of the business. They want to understand the risks, they want to understand the ownership structure, they want to understand the legal structure, and generally just have a deep understanding of what they're getting into whenever they're doing a deal with a company. Now, anybody that has gone through a process of trying to get debt in or raising money, you'll know that a lot of times investors will have diligence requests or lenders will have diligence requests, and they'll have this big list of things that they want to see, and you'll have to send them over. And if it takes you a while to gather up all of that data, it's a bad look on you because it looks like you're unorganized and it looks like you weren't fully prepared for the process. This is why data rooms are so important, is because if you on the front end do all of the work to get all of the important data, organize that data, and then just immediately whenever an investor or a lender asks for that data, you can just send them a link and it's literally everything that you have on your business in a very, very organized, easy to understand way, then it's really going to make you look great and it's going to save a lot of time in the process. And anybody that's fundraised before or gotten debt before knows that it is a time game. You really want to get that done as quickly as you can because the longer these types of processes drag out, the more likely they are to fail. So being proactive and having everything there organized, it's really going to help make your life a lot better and a lot easier. So that's kind of what a data room is. That's why it's important. Now I want to get into my recommendations for how to keep a data room up to date and the resources that you can use in order to do this. So if you are on a budget, I highly recommend that you use something that is low or no cost. And this can be Dropbox or Google Drive. So we at Forecaster use Google Drive just because we use it for pretty much everything within the organization. And if you go to forecaster.co/templates, we actually have a Google Drive template that you can download completely for free. All that we ask for is an email. Now, the reason that we recommend those is because they're very, very low cost, they're free, and they're easily shared, and they work really, really well with other documents and things like that. So if you don't have a lot of money, highly recommend using Google Drive or Dropbox. That's going to be the easiest way to do it. Use one of the templates that we have available. We have all the file structures completely pre-designated so that you have our recommended structure already in there. So it should make your life really, really easy. If you have a little bit more money to spend, there are paid options, and I just highly recommend that you Google those and figure out which one's right for you. But most of the benefits come down to security and shareability and transparency with a lot of these. So they're going to allow you to have a very secure file structure. You can perhaps see who's viewing when, which can be really nice. And it's just a better way a more buttoned up way, I should say, to build and manage and share your data room. So highly recommend sticking with free options until you need a paid option. Process for keeping these up to date. I highly recommend always keeping your data room up to date and running a monthly process to scrub your data room and make sure that it always has the most up-to-date information in it. Now, the reason for this is that just like a financial model or your accounting software or anything like that, a data room is a living, breathing document, and you always want the most accurate, most up-to-date data reflected in your data room. The problem with data rooms, if you don't do this, is that they will stagnate. If you skip 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, all of a sudden, all of the new hires that you have, none of their employment agreements are in your data room. All of your financials are totally out of date at this point. Your financial model might be out of date at this point because you've made some changes to the business. There's just a lot of things that go into a data room that will be out of date if you let it stagnate. And then you're back into the same problem where if you have a lender or an investor or whoever that wants to dig into your data, now you've got to take a week and you've got to scrub it before you feel comfortable sending it over. One of the taglines that I really like that describe a data room is be ready to sell your business at a moment's notice. And that's really what it is. I mean, it's essentially a framework that you can use that gives you the ability not only to sell your business at a moment's notice, but take on additional funding or get any debt in. So it can be really, really powerful. And if you set up a process to just update your data room once a month, then you are going to be in a really, really good position anytime anybody requests any type of information on your business. And it only takes maybe an hour a month to do. So take some of the common things that commonly evolve, like financials, employment agreements, financial models, things like that. Just get a list of things that tend to change on a month-to-month basis, and then set aside 1 hour at the end of every month to go into your data room, look at those areas and see, is this actually up to date, or do I need to put in new information in there? So there you have it. That's everything on data rooms. If you think that I glossed over anything, please put it in the comments below and we will shoot follow-up content in order to address anything that you want us to go deeper on. Really helps us get the content better. As always, thanks for watching and happy forecasting.